Okay, as I record this one's kind of late. It's probably out of theaters, but as we all know, home video and streaming is the forever home of all films, or most films if you're lucky. This is the newest from Sam Raimi, director of Evil Dead and Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2 and Crime Wave and For Love of the Game and Darkman and the Spider-Man films and Drag Me to Hell, and this time it is Send Help. This is an island survival, very dark comedy starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. It's really just a two-person show. There are other people in the film. Dennis Haysbert is briefly in the film. We used to refer to him as the president because he was just so charming and commanding as the president on 24 for so long, and a bunch of other people, but really for the most part, it is Edyll Ismail is also in this film. It is pretty much McAdams and O'Brien throughout the film. So basic premise is something like this. Rachel McAdams is a risk analysis expert. I can't remember what they say. It's been a while since I've seen this. She is an underling at a big corporate office. The boss dies or hands his job to his young, really kind of douche son, portrayed by Dylan O'Brien, and she wants to get in good with him. She thinks she's angling for a promotion, but she's really frumpy and she's really awkward and she always says or does the wrong thing and she's too excited, and he's just a hipster dude bro who is not a nice person and passes her over for somebody else. So for a fellow dude bro. So I'm not going to tell you the whole story. They're on a private jet to head somewhere for some work-related thing, and the jet goes down in spectacular fashion, although, for my money, a little too shaky cam and a little too CGI to really get all of the horrible things that happen visually. It's all just so fleeting, you almost kind of sort of see what happens. They wind up on a desert or deserted island, and it becomes a survival tale. He is a city boy dude bro who has little to no survival skills and is very injured. She happens to be a big fan of the show Survivor. She had auditioned to be on Survivor. She has all kinds of, we see earlier in the film, panning her bookshelf. It's all these things about, plants you can eat and survival things and all that. So she basically seizes the day, and she is actually loving being stranded on this deserted island and being able to put her boss in his place. What then follows is a very dark, increasingly grim and gruesome comedy drama thriller about who has the upper hand when the tables are turned, who will survive and what will be left of them, and will they escape this island? And if so, will they both escape the island, and in what condition? So I love Sam Raimi. I've always been a fan since, the early days of seeing his stuff on video, seeing Evil Dead, seeing Army of Darkness in the theater, and never having seen anything as wild and fun as that, and always following his career since then. I can't say I love every Sam Raimi movie. I'm not going to say this is one of the best Sam Raimi movies, but Sam Raimi always does bring a bit of a point of view visually and stylistically to films, and he does that here. This isn't crazy like the Evil Dead films. It does have really gut-wrenching, teeth-clenching moments in the film of grossness and perhaps depravity, but overall it's pretty restrained. At some point, he got the big Hollywood gig and he started making big budget movies, studio level movies, and some of his crazy manic style dropped off. This falls into that category, but it is one of the more fun Sam Raimi movies in his studio era, I would say. Certainly the most accessible to mainstream audiences with these actors and the theme. Certainly female forward film, and the audience I saw it with was a pretty packed house on opening night, and people were really into this movie, and they were yelping and they were cheering and they were laughing. So it works really well with an audience. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, by the time you see this, the audience is going to be whoever you can gather at home. But I didn't love Send Help. There's a lot of Sam Raimi movies I like more, but as a fun survival dark comedy thriller, it was a pretty good time in the theater, and there's some fun twists along the way. So I would recommend Send Help. However if you can see it in the theater, see it in the theater, but however you watch it, Send Help.